Hi, this is David from Frumestra Management Consulting, and in this video we are going to review how to create dependent fields. So we are back in our invoice that we created sometime last year, and in the video that explains a little bit how we can construct such a dynamic invoice, a viewer asked the question, how can we create dependent fields such that, okay, when I change, let's start enforcing protection first. So when I change the product, it automatically retrieves the unit cost. So currently the product A is at 30,000 shillings. And if I change to product H, the value of the unit cost will be automatically matching the one of the product H. So I always need to validate with the tabulation, and it has updated automatically to 740,000. So how can we make that work? So if I remove the protection and I hit Alt F9, we can see the fields code that's behind the scene. It might look a little bit complex, but we are going to try and walk through recreating a new dependent field. So we have our drop down here, and depending on the value that we have selected, we have an if statement that's going to retrieve the value and return the right amount, okay, corresponding to that field, that selection, okay. And actually we have the information here. For each of those products, we have declared a variable, or actually set a bookmark, and given a value for each bookmark. So the bookmark product A is 30,000 shillings, and for H we have 740,000. So when we selected product H, we retrieved from those bookmarks the value 740. Okay, so now we are going to try and reconstruct that from scratch. Okay, so let's open a new document with Control N for new document in Word. Then we can go into the developer tab. So if you don't have it, you can go into File. Let's do differently. Right click on the ribbon, customize the ribbon, and when the dialog box open, you can select the developer tab to display. Okay, customize the ribbon, and then you have on the right side all the different tabs that are available. If it is unchecked like this, you just need to check it and click OK, and then you will have the developer tab available here. Alright, from the developer tab we are going to go to the controls and choose legacy control. So the legacy forms control, we have a drop down box here, and we hit again Alt F9 to make it as a field. We can choose, right click on it, we can choose properties, and with that we are going to enter the different items that we want to display in this drop down. Okay, so we have a product A, okay, right, A, I want A, all right. Add, then we have a product B, add, we have product C, and that's it. Okay, so let's close it and see what happens. We have a list of items that are now available. So if you want to play with that drop down, we need to restrict editing and actually allow only this type of editing in the document. So filling in forms, and we enforce protection without, especially in the password. If you want to protect it with a password, you can enter your password. And now we have the drop down which is available, and we have our different products that we entered previously. Okay, so now we have automatically the first product which is selected, and for having a blank, we can change the values that we have inside. So let's say we have, we just need to add an item which has just a bunch of spaces inside. So let's add some spaces up, and we add it. So now we have a blank row. Let's put it first, click OK, and let's try it. We enforce protection, and now we have our drop-down list, which is ready with our different items that we can select, right? So the first one is empty, so like it appears as there is nothing selected. So now we can select product A, product B, or product C, all right, and return to 0. Let's stop the protection, right click on it, and returns to the properties. So we have added different items to our lists or drop-down list that we can select, and we have sorted them. Okay, so now we can look at the different other properties that are available. We don't especially want to run a macro on that, so no need to change anything in that. We can change the bookmark. The bookmark is the name of our item that we will reference in the other dependent field. So let's give it a different name. In that case, we will call it list 1_1. So the name of the bookmark should be without space, so you can use eventually an underscore or an hyphen. You can use capital letters and lowercase and numbers as well. What we need to check is to calculate on exit. The calculate on exit property will force the calculation of the dependent field to evaluate the result of that drop down. Okay, and we need to make sure that the drop down enable is selected as well. If that is not selected, when we wouldn't have the drop down available, we cannot select our items. Okay, so let's go back, right click on that, right click. Okay, I did not remove the protection. Okay, yeah. Right click properties, and let's ensure that both are selected. Okay, so now, okay, up we have our drop down that displays the different items that we can select. Very good. Let's create our so we can have that in an Excel in a table. Okay, so let's insert a table. We have, okay, like this. We select this and we move it inside our table. All right, very good. Okay, so in that column we are going to display what we have selected. Okay, so we can insert a quick part and we select fields. Okay, when it opens, okay, field there, right? And here we are going to look for the ref field. Ref, what does it display? Okay, the ref inserted the text marked by a bookmark. So you remember, okay, that drop down field, we gave it a name of list 1, which is the name of that bookmark, which references, okay, our drop down list. Perfect. Let's validate. And okay, so it appears blank, but if we hit Alt F9, we can see that we have our field which is referenced here. Okay, so it references the bookmark list 1. So now, well, actually, what I had forgotten is that currently what we have selected is a bunch of spaces that is displayed here. We have the spaces here available. It displays exactly what was selected. So now let's enforce protection. return to our drop-down list with select product A, and to validate and force the calculation and that field to update, we need to validate with the tab key, and it will automatically force the calculation of that field. Okay, so let's select B, tab key, and now we have the product B. So product C, tab key, and we have our product C. Okay, very good. Let's stop that. And now we want to return not the product, but we want to have the amount. So let's have the amount corresponding to that product here, that will display here. Okay. We first need to reference for each of those products the cost associated to that one. So below our table, we can insert another field, and we are going to add a set. So we will assign a new text to a bookmark. So we are going to set a variable in a way, okay? And the set field, again, assigns a new text to a bookmark. Currently, we have only one bookmark. We need to create a bookmark which is going to be equal to our product C. Okay. All right, so let's select this set, and the text is going to be product underscore C. Great. And we do Alt F9, we hit Alt F9, it's there. You can see that, okay, if you don't hit Alt F9, you don't see it, but it's there and visible. Alt F9, and we have access to our fields. Set the product underscore C to 30,000. 30,000, right. Okay. So Alt F9 to return to our fillable document. And here we can reference, we can have a ref field. Let's add our field ref, where is it? Ref. Product C. So actually, okay. Let's right click on it, update the edit field. Okay, we can toggle field code. Ref, it is empty. Okay, so we need to reference product. What did I say? C. Okay, and hit F9. Okay. Update field. What is the problem? I think, yeah, okay, I understand. Okay, let's select everything, Control A, and let's force calculation hitting F9. And update, here we go. Okay, so we just needed to force the calculation of that bookmark. By hitting F9 and recording it, because before we had just written the syntax but not declared it or populated that bookmark, so it was not available. Okay, so now if we go again in the quick parts field and choose ref to reference, now it is here, the bookmark is here. So each time we create a bookmark, Alt F9, we go below and we set another bookmark. So another quick way also to insert a field is by hitting Control F9. Control F9 will insert a field, which is the same as going into quick parts field. Now we can also write ourselves the name of that field, which is set it's gonna be product underscore A, and the value will be 15,000. Okay, we don't especially need the merge format, okay, in that case, so we can, this is optional, okay, we don't need to write it. So let's do Alt F9, and we can select that bookmark, and we right click on it. We need to do update field to have the bookmark registered in Word and available to use with set. So now if you go into quick parts, we go to ref, and we have it available here, product A. Okay, so now it's available. Okay. All right, so now the problem is that that bookmark references directly that product C without being dynamic, right? So it should be actually referencing the result of that one. Okay, so if we enforce protection again, we can change the item selected in that drop-down list to, let's say, product B, validate with the tab to enforce calculation of other dependent field. So this one depends on this, but this one currently is only referencing product C and is not updated if we have selected product B. So we need to make it dynamic such that it updates accordingly. Let's go back and create another bookmark, which is going to be product B. So field, we can do set, we name it product underscore B. Okay. Right click on, well, we can select that field, right click on it, and then we choose we choose toggle field codes, and for the product B the value should be, let's say, 45,000. Okay, right click on that field and update that field. Okay, so now again we go to quick parts field and go to ref, and it's available. Product A, product B, product C, those bookmarks are now available inside Word, so we can use them and reference them. So how can we make this dependent on the product that we have selected and return the value corresponding or the unit cost corresponding to that selected product? So let's hit Alt F9 and display the field codes that we have available. In that case, we are referencing product C, which is this one. Okay, and we'll always return 30,000. Now we want to make it dependent on the drop-down selection and return one of those. So instead of referencing product C, we can embed several fields inside each other. And actually we want to, because this one already depends on the form drop-down selected value, we can select that, copy it, and return it inside our reference bookmark. So Control V. Now, one problem is that in our drop-down list, we did not name our product A, B, or C with an underscore, but product space A, B, or C. So it won't display anything. Okay, so we need to change the values that we have inside to reflect exactly the same naming convention. So let's do product underscore A, add it, product underscore B, add it, product underscore C, and we add it. We can remove the other one, remove, select product space E, remove, product space B, remove. Now we have all our products, so the empty space at the beginning, product underscore A, product underscore B, product underscore C. Click OK, and we close that. We can select everything, Alt F9. We can do Control A and update with F9. So of course now I have an error message because nothing is selected. Well, an empty or just okay, the spaces that we have added to our dropdown are currently being selected, which reflect here. It tries to find a bookmark which correspond to a bunch of empty spaces, which doesn't correspond to anything. So of course it returns an error. That's normal. That's why in my other document I actually use an if function that's going to say if the selection correspond to the bunch of spaces, then just return 0, okay, or return nothing, a blank, all right. Otherwise, reference the reference choice 1, and then okay, format it of that sort. Okay, so let's go back to our document. Now we are going to start enforcing the protection. Click OK. We can select product A. We validate with the tab. We have our product A selected, and it returns 15,000. Okay, so that's exactly the value of our product A. Now, if we select product B, it's tab. We have 45,000, which correspond to product B. Product C, tab, and we have 30,000 corresponding to the value of our product C. So that's how to create a dependent field such that we have this one returning a certain value corresponding to our selection in the dropdown. In the other document, well, I added, as I have said, an if function to check if the selection is empty or corresponding to a bunch of spaces. And I also used a formatting property to format it nicely with a comma separated value. Okay. All right, so that's how to create a dependent field in Word. All right. Thanks for watching. If you have any question or if you want to work on something in particular, please let me know in the comments below, and see you in the next video.